Ọma ugbu a Chukwu am na-akpọkwa ka m na-akpọ anwachi Igbo ga-adịkwanụ onwe iberibe aha bekee butere anyị Chineke ekwere ka anyị na-ebu ya anyị ga-anọ n'omenala anyị bekee nọ na nke ha ụmụ anyị ga-agụta akwụkwọ bekee gụta nke Igbo onye ya agwa nwanne ekwu ya bụrụ onye Igbo gwa ada agwakwa ndị bekee were onu bekee gwa ha aja obodo na ha n'Igbo were onu bekee gwa ha ọ bụ onye hụ nwanne ya asị fere onye hụ nwanne fere ndị Hausa anaghị asịrị ibe ha Yoruba anaghị asịrị ibe ha ebili ndị River na ndị ọzọ anaghị asịrị ibe ha bọta ọ bụrụ ndị Igbo fere eme onye na-asịrị ọnụ ihe kwuru ma ọnụ Chukwu ana m yọgụ ka omenala Igbo mụmụ ichie ụmụnna bụ ike na-akwado m ekwadochie ike ka ihe Igbo na-aga ọfọ a ga-echiri kwesịrị ugbu a ihe anyị nọbụ agụcha n'ọjị ọwụwa ya n'ime ọwụwa ya achọrọ m ka Igbo niile Igbo gburugburu bịa kwado ọmarịcha Igbo ka ọ na-aga n'ihu ndị n'ime ha nọ ndị na-ana bekee ndị nọ n'ala Igbo ndị n'ibe ọbụla ha nọ na Naịjirịa ka ha kwado omenala Igbo achọkwana ka obodo ọzọ ghara ewere ọmarịcha Igbo omenala anyị ka omenala anyị na-aga n'ihu anyị zadoro ụkwụ ụwa n'Igbo ihe anyị na-ekwe n'aha n'Igbo ọmarịcha Igbo bịa taa n'ọjị ma ndị nwụrụ anwụ ma ndị dị ndụ bịa taa n'ọjị ihe unu ga-akwado omenala Igbo mụ na onwe m kwadokwa nke omenala Igbo na ọmarịcha Igbo gaa n'ihu ugbu a nwa m ọjị a Igbo mma mmanụ Igbo mma mmanụ ugbu a
ụmụ Igbo ọ bụrụ na ị na-ege anyị ntị n'onu ma na-ekiri ozi ọma nke anyị na-ewetara unu na ozi ndụmọdụ na ịgbazi ọnụ nke anyị na-ewetara unu biko ka ị na-esonyere anyị na YouTube na-esonyekwara anyị na Instagram maọbụ na Twitter maọbụ na Facebook na na webụsaịtị nke ndị Obinwanne m ka anyị wee na-ezinye abụ ozi ka o si wee kwesị dị na-adị maka na oge erugo mgbe anyị ga-ebupụta ihe nke njirimara Igbo na asụsụ Igbo na omenala Igbo na ihe gbasara ndị Igbo niile n'ụwa niile ọ kacha ihe anyị na-achọ bụ Biafra ị ga na-afụkwanye abụ ozi ka ọ ga na-abịa ị na-esonyere anyị ị ga na-ama mgbe anyị tụpụtara gị ozi nke dị mkpa iyi amara ma wee marakwa ị ga-eme ngwa ngwa ka emeghara ọdachi Igbo bụ Igbo Igbo mụrụ nze m ọzọ ekenekwa m unu ana m asị nke onye echiri ya zere ya mara anyị niile mma n'ụbọchị tata bụ ụbọchị eke ọkụ n'ala Igbo unu ewonara m iwe na akwalochebe m ọfụma wee mapụta n'ihu ọrụ ihe niile so na ya na-eme na oke ọkwọdụ sound ya dị oke ọhịa nchọrọ ịma ọ bụrụ na anụ ọnụ m anụ ọnụ ya na-anụ n'ịlaikiri ya n'obi dị gị mma ana ekike ma na ọ dị gị mma ana iru a na ashainere gị na ọ dị gị mma nwanne gị kọmentị ya sị dat nne na anụ ife m na-ekwu ana ikene m ana ekene ị ga-ekene m ka obi wee dị m mma bụ ị ga-asị m eke ọma nwa Chineke Ugwu Okechukwu etu a ka m si chọọ ka isi wee kene m nkịta na ị na-anụ ọnụ m mana tupu ị na-ekene m ị ga-asị m ana m anụ ọnụ gị nwanne m nwoke then the next thing ị ga-ekwuzi now ihe ga-esi ya bụ onu gị na-apụta ọfụma
nwa Chineke gaba n'iru na anyị na-anụ ihe na-ekwu gwa anyị ihe ahụ ị chọrọ ịgwa anyị na ntị anyị ghere oghe. Ịbịazie n'okpuru ya gị gwazie anyị na onye na-ekwu okwu a na onye jụrụ ajụjụ a bụ nwanne gị nwoke bụ ọ nwanne gị nwaanyị bụ onye do na n'isi na ebe do na wee na-ekene m. So na ọ bụ na nkwuchazi okwu gwachazi unu okwu then mazi that na onwezie dịka ajụjụ ga-ajụ ejụọ m ya ọ bụgodu mmadụ na-aba ma ịtọ ọ ga-adị mma. So ọ from unu nwa ka m ga-eji mara na studio ma ọ na-abanyekwa maka na nkwa nkwere obi nwanne ka nna achọ ka ọ bịa na mmezu ka ọ na ịchọrọ ka nkwa nkwere obi nwanne ka ọ bịa na mmezu. Ọ bụ na ịchọghọkwa ya oge erugo mgbe ya apụta ka ikwuo ekwu kwesị isi dị o. So na unu na kọmentị ana ma aghọta na anyị niile so n'ihe a na-eme. So onwegodo ebe m si wee mejọ unu dịka nsi yọ mgbaghara yesterday onwe ebe m si mejọ unu biko ohere aka unu ga-eji wee bịa correct the mistake because na mụnwa na ụmụ wepụtara onwe m ka rụọrọ ndị Igbo ọrụ ana m arụkwa ndị Igbo ọrụ. Ọtụtụ ndị batara n'obi nwanne kịta today na ụfọdụ n'ime na-asị m na ego niile ha tinye n'obi nwanne ụfọdụ si na ọsụ wee chiata ya azụ ụfọdụ si ụfọdụ sọsọ let me say mmadụ na-abụ bie ka na-enye m nsogbu weta ego na-ajụzi ebe ka m ga-esi wetazikwa n'ego ụmụnne m ndị a na-ana m ego obi nwanne ebe ka m ga-esi wetakwa n'ego obi nwanne ifuru ebe m rụrụ obi nwanne na-amụta ego. Obi nwanne bụ ozi ọma ka anyị na-ezi ọ nọ ka onye nyechara onyinye n'ụlọ ụka sikwazie fada ya nyechie ya ego onyinye niile o nyere kemgbe o bidoro ụka. Ịnaba m ego obi nwanne m nwa ga-ejekwa nabakwa ndị fada ego niile m nyere ha n'ụlọ ụka ya bụrụ ogwu biri na ụmụnne m anyị abịaghịkwa ọzọ n'ụbọchị tata ka anyị si ozi ọma. So achọrọ m ka mmadụ naba m ịtọ gwa m na onu m na-apụta ọfụma ọ ife na achọ ka m jiri akụka wee jide unu n'ọrụ so mana udo dị afọ na the voice na-apụta ọfụma. So ka mba na achọrọ m ka m ga-etugodi ya obere ntị ka anyị pụtakwa ka anyị pụta.
Nobody want to talk about the compensation.
Ka ị ga-egodo nke Tony Nnamdi
if you like, Governor
Nnamdi.
This is why we are speaking today to everybody. Anybody who knows where to find Bola Tinubu should get him to listen to this before he takes himself to Washington. Because in 2019, while we were there sharing evidence of what was going on in Nigeria with them, what's his name? Buhari dispatched Oshibajo, the vice president at the time, Christian, professor of law, Yoruba. They are killing your people, and Buhari dispatched you to come to Washington to lie to them that no killing is taking place, which is the kind of thing Bishop Kuka is doing now. Can anybody tell me why Hassan Matthew Kuka will tell the world that no killing is no killing of the nature that is alleged that's going on? We can understand the charlatans like Panika or Remy, or the ones that buy on kind of people. We can understand those ones. But why will Matthew Kuka be the one to go and be a false witness in the global stage? I know what is in the file. I know how the CPC was arrived at.
Welcome back, everyone. So that was Mr. Tony Nnamdi, telling us the whole thing, how US arrived to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. When people tell Tinubu that this time around his propaganda is not going to work, they thought that Nigerians, they are joking, because this matter, hey, US, they have their data, they have their information, they have been investigating this matter for a very long time. This did not just start today. US did not just wake up and say, hey, Nigeria, they're going to designate Nigeria as a country of a particular concern. No, they have been investigating this matter for a very long time. That's why it's like Tinubu, they're just making jest of themselves when they come out to say there is no genocide, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria, this and that. And with all this, Tinubu and cohort, they are still playing this local politics, bringing Sultan of Sokoto to Asorok, bringing the Bishop of Abuja to Asorok. To do what now? Donald Trump have said it whoha. Tackle the insecurity. That is the only thing they need from Nigeria government. So bringing all these people just to defend there is no genocide in Nigeria is not going to work, because they have their information already. So people that knows Tinubu should come and listen to what Mr. Nnamdi have to say in this particular video. So before I allow you guys to watch the full video, so there's this particular breaking news that have been trending since today that said that yesterday afternoon, chairman of Frontua, LGA, paid a visit to armed group, that is Bandito, who have been involved in bandit activities, presenting it as a peace initiative. This public engagement with bandits sent a dangerous message and undermines the ongoing fight against insecurity in the Katsina state. Like, despite everything that are happening, they are still engaging with this peace deal with bandits. Like, how do you think Nigeria is going to solve the insecurity problem if these people continue with this pattern? And you are saying that Donald Trump, they should not come. Then how is Nigeria going to solve it? Look at what Tinubu is doing. Calling Sultan of Sokoto to come to the Asorok. Calling Bishop to... Is it what we want? We need action. All these things, we don't need it right now. Look at, they are still having peace deal with bandits. Even yesterday. Anyway, my people, make I not talk too much in this video. Let me allow you guys so that you can listen and hear everything Mr. Nnamdi said concerning the whole matter. Do well to subscribe, like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comment section.
Between nations, in the shadows of Washington, D.C., a quiet yet powerful campaign was underway, one that will ultimately lead to the reinstatement of U.S. sanctions against Nigeria. The issue at hand: widespread ethno-religious killings that sparked international outrage. But what drove this decision, and who were the key players involved? As we peel back the layers, it becomes clear that the work of organizations and individuals like Nina's and others played a pivotal role in shaping U.S. policy. The question now is, what's next for Nigeria, and how will this impact the country's trajectory? Joining me tonight is Tony Nnamdi. He is the Secretary General of the Lower Niger Congress and co-convener of NINAS. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on the Eastern Eye.
Yes, sir. I say thank you. Welcome, viewers.
All right. Thank you. I mean, the whole issue about where we found ourselves now as a country, looking at the issues that the president of the U.S. had to raise himself, it looks like it didn't start today. Help us, take us back memory lane, how everything we are seeing today may have actually precipitated.
Yes, I'm sure that our viewers will remember that for most of 2019, we were in Washington discussing with the U.S. What will happen with the terror networks that were converging in West African sub-region. At the time Buhari was president, Buhari threw our borders open to bring in Fulani from all over the sub-region to come in and just do as they deem fit. You remember too that in that period that the US was at war with ISIS in the Middle East. And the ISIS had relocated from the Middle East, trying to reinforce themselves in the West African sub-region. And what we had to go to do was to tell them that this thing is happening in our space. Our president, who is a sympathizer of extreme, Islamists, is a champion of Sharia. He's involved with Fulani herdsmen that had become notorious at the time. He's the live grand patron of Vietiana and all of that. And he had said it publicly after he left office as a military head of state that he was going to use everything that comes within his reach to pursue Sharia to no end. That is, the whole country will come under Sharia if he had its way. And so it was in that kind of a setting that we had to go to Washington. That's the team I led, had to go to Washington to whisper to them that we have something we could do that will solve this problem for them. That is to say, the Constitution of Nigeria, I want our people to listen carefully, because what Trump said was that they will come here unless something happens to arrest the situation. The reason I'm on TV now is to share with the peoples of Nigeria, the government of Nigeria, and all of those who may have some stake in what happens here. It is the national security interests of the United States that have been injured by Nigeria repeatedly. You saw the visa restriction. It was because our database is compromised. Buhari through the border open and people Fulani came from everywhere, and Pantami was documenting them as Nigerians. And so somebody comes with a Nigerian passport who is a trained fighter from the Middle East or wherever they come from. They have become Nigerians because they could come here and be documented as Nigerian. That's what the US was talking about when they changed everything about the visa situation. And so in that 2019. We went to raise that alarm in January. I'm sure most of us saw the videos there. And you can pick some pictures from, the era if you have them. We went to raise the alarm that these things are happening in this space. And if they will listen to us, that we're going to tell them what could be done to arrest the ISIS that had come to our sub-region, becoming ISWAP with Boko Haram, and all the other agencies of Al-Qaeda and the other networks. And that the man who is our president and his government, that the constitution, that's the Buhari of the time, that the constitution of Nigeria which they imposed is the reason they're able to do what they're doing. And that we, the Nigerians, who are the victims of the situation, because the killings were happening all over the place, that we of Nigeria, who are supposed to be living under that constitution, are now together in saying we can pull back our signature that was implanted on that constitution against our own, without our consent. That if we pull it down, that constitution will go down, and the union that because it's that constitution that brings the Fulani and everybody else into our space, will then redefine our union in a manner that will quarantine them to a smaller space, because Ijo will be on Ijo land. Yoruba will be on Yoruba land. Anang will be on Anang land. Everybody will be in their lands. We will then go to a meeting to rework our union. The 1914 union was not our union. It hasn't become our union in 1999 because, again, agents of the old order imposed a constitution, and for some reason, people who are supposed to know that they have a problem and to look for solutions to that problem are carrying on with a constitution that rendered them slaves in their homeland, as if it doesn't matter. And people are dying in this number simply because this constitution is still in place. There's no other thing that is the reason for what the US is now coming to solve by themselves. After we finished everything in that 2019, we had the privilege of addressing the Senate committee, the House committee, all in Capitol Hill. I was the one that led the team, and I'm in a position to report today where that CPC is coming from, because it was the culmination of what we did at the time that became the Nigeria got designated as a country of particular concern. And what has happened now is the reinstatement of that status. What does that status mean? It means that, and of course, let us also recall that in December of 2019, they had put Nigeria on a watch list. That is, at the level of watch list, you are being told to the hearing of the whole world that you are stepping on the national security interests of the United States. And that it's not just the US. Everywhere terror can go is what you are now breeding the terror that will travel, like Iran have been doing, breeding terror. And so Nigeria had put itself in that same category as Iran, as Afghanistan. At the time they were breeding this terror, and everything everybody tried to do to get them to stop, they wouldn't stop. And so we told the US that all of us who are victims, who are Nigerians, but who are victims of that Fulani ethnic agenda that is wearing the garment of jihad. This talk about Christian genocide is the front end of it. The back end is that there is an ethnic, mask. There's an ethnic human wearing the mask of jihad. Yes, you see, most of the people they are killing who happen to be in the middle belt and the south, in fact, the southern fringes of Borno, Gombe, all the way to Kebbi on the other extreme, who happen to be Christians. It just happened that they are Christians. But why are they killing people in Zamfara? Why are they killing people in Katsina? in Kenya and all the other places who are also Muslims. So it's basically an ethnic Fulani conquest agenda being driven from all over the sub-region, but Nigeria as the hub. And so the US agreed with us that the solution we had offered, that is to say that we're going to take down the 1999 Constitution and force a discussion that will push them back into a smaller space, unplug them from our national, resources in terms of being head over us in a constitution that puts everything in their hands. The guns that are not available today to those who have been slaughtered in Benue, in Plateau, in Southern Kaduna and elsewhere, in Kwara now, the reason it's happening is that the Constitution of Nigeria put the guns beyond them. There's nothing that will solve that problem than that Constitution going down, and the owners of the sovereignty, the ones who live in that danger, taking charge. There's no other. The corruption we see, the insecurity of other types we see, the infrastructural decay we see, the Nigeria that has become the poverty capital of the world, it is on account of this Constitution. Those who are doing democracy under the Constitution that render everybody slave, we have been shouting and telling you what needs to be done. You have refused to do it. The international community led by the US, in fact, the US can act unilateral, are going now to this. You saw what happened in Gaza. They were telling them, stop. If you don't stop, we'll come and stop you. They refused. Now, the US says, we will come to solve this problem because that's what the CPC brings you to. The US can come to that space and solve that problem by itself. But there's a window, which is why we are speaking today to everybody. Anybody who knows where to find Bola Tinubu should get him to listen to this before he takes himself to Washington. Because in 2019, while we were there sharing evidence of what was going on in Nigeria with them, what's his name? Buhari dispatched Oshibajo, the vice president at the time, Christian, professor of law, Yoruba. They are killing your people, and Buhari dispatched you to come to Washington to lie to them that no killing is taking place, which is the kind of thing Bishop Kuka is doing now. Can anybody tell me why Hassan Matthew Kuka will tell the world that no killing is no killing of the nature that is alleged that's going on? We can understand the charlatans like Panika or Remy, or the ones that buy on kind of people. We can understand those ones. But why will Matthew Kuka be the one to go and bear false witness in the global stage? I know what is in the file. I know how the CPC was arrived at. It was the election of 2020 that brought Biden and his Blinken, who then removed Nigeria from that list. At the time, the killings were increasing. Luckily, Trump comes back and the killings are not abated. All he did after the election was to say that the executive order under which they were planning this kind of action we're hearing now, Trump gave a 180-day drawdown. Let those who want to research. What happened under the executive order that was signed in June of 2020, before the election happened in November, that brought Biden. And so this was where the matter was coming from as at that time. We have had every opportunity to do what we need to do. What is that thing we need to do to arrest this situation? Let us suspend any talk of election and go into fixing the constitution that will arrest the situation that has gone out of control. There's the only window left. Nigeria has less than 2 months. From what I know, Nigeria has less than 2 months to solve this problem by themselves. They have been postponing it since 1967. They have been postponing it from 1999. Let us realize we don't have a union. Can Bola Tinubu mobilize the country now around his flag? Can I be mobilized behind the flag of Nigeria today? Can those being slaughtered in the Middle Belt be mobilized behind that flag? Can the young people slaughtered at the toll gate be mobilized behind that flag? The union has collapsed. Then a few people gather in Abuja. Every month they share money. They are selling crude oil. There's no part of that money that is meant for the citizens of the country. They're announcing GDP to us. And some hooligans gather with them to say they are doing democracy under the constitution that guarantees the killing that is going on. Somebody like Peter Obi, anybody who knows where to find him now, should tell him to leave everything he's doing and listen. All of those who are doing democracy under this constitution will be the first set of targets if this matter becomes rightful show. But we have a little time window to solve it by ourselves. We have a little time window to solve it by ourselves. Let us go now and announce to the world, like South Africa did in 1990, that we will suspend the elections and go and discuss the union constitution. If we are not doing that, people are going to take extraordinary steps to save themselves. And when the guns begin to boom, we saw it in Gaza. For Trump to say they will come dancing, it's not only the government that will come on that at that time. It will be everybody everywhere. The rest of us who are not in government, the rest of us who are not sharing money with them, must now find the wisdom to do what needs to be done in little time left. That thing is that we must suspend the journey to election, go into a transition to rework the constitution of Nigeria. I think that's the backdrop I can bring to it.
All right, so Mr. Nnamdi, now that we understand this, you are saying that we have about 2 months window to deal with this and come out of the web that might emerge. What needs to happen between now and the next 2 months if Nigeria wants to get out of this? And you've been talking about reworking the constitution. How will that happen?
The 5-point proposition of Nina that is contained in the constitutional force majeure we put on the table since December of 2020. Those 5 points brings us to where, and I'm not telling you what's going on inside my head, I'm telling us what was discussed in Washington for 7 months. That a solution to this problem, and Washington already brought into it and went on to get the UN. I'm talking because in 2019, when the UN rapporteur called Agnes Kellerman, we left Washington in July of 2019. By August, that UN mission was already here to investigate the judicial killings happening in Nigeria, blow all over the place. Fulani Hesman is killing, soldiers are killing, terrorists are killing, bandits is killing. You go to the eastern part, again, everything upside down. You go to Ijaw territory, they say resource control in blood and blood and more blood. And so it is that matter of that constitution, because that was the of the visitation of Agnes Kellerman, the rapporteur mission. She says the report says that the reason blood is flowing all over Nigeria is because of the constitution that operates in Nigeria, constitution that operates like for injustice. We can research it. Agnes Kellerman in 2019, September. They came in August, went around the country, and came to the conclusion. Meaning that the outside world, the international community, those who are concerned about what happened if Nigeria snapped, are to tell us that this constitution is source of our problem, whether it's the poverty or the corruption or the decay in everything. This constitution is the reason we are where we are, including everything you can point, every single thing you can point. And so, what needs to happen now? Address the concern when they say country of particular concern. What is the concern of the youth in our subregion? That concern is terror that is breeding in our place that will come to them as in a matter of time. That terror can go to Europe, that terror can go everywhere. And if we come to where that terror now collapses Nigeria, 230 million people will be looking for where to run to. Who in West Africa can receive even 10 million? Our neighbors all the way to Ghana cannot receive even 10 million. The rest will face every direction. And then the terror networks will then have them because there will be nobody in control. The terror networks will move in and we have Afghanistan times 10 in our hands. That's what we are risking. And so what needs to happen in this time window is for the government of Nigeria, is for those who might suffer if these things snap or come to where the U.S. is now coming to stop the source of that terror that will come to them. What needs to happen is an announcement covering those 5 points of opposition. The government must now agree with us, with the rest of with the owners of Nigeria, that the unitary constitution of Nigeria is the source of all the problems. The government must now commit to solving that problem by the commission of that constitution. The government must know we can go to another election because we know that the election will swear to defend and uphold this constitution. So we're back to where we are. And so that's item 3 they have to cover, that we're not going to another election under this constitution. Then item 4 is that for the first time, there will be a meeting of the owners of the sovereignty. They were not consulted in 1914. They were not consulted in 1999. All of what happened between 1914, whether you're talking about 1922 or 1946 or 1954 of Richardson and McPherson and all those constitutions we saw, none of them came from the people. Even the so-called independence constitution and the one of 1963. For the ones who say, oh, let's go back to 1963. 1963 was only an amendment to 1960. For those who have been telling us that if only we went back there, all will be well. It was a parliament action. Constitutions are not made by parliament. And so it is accept that we have not made any constitution. The one that was imposed by decree is the source of all our problems, every one of them. Secondly, that we have to decommission it now. Third, that we can to another election under this constitution. That's what the time frame to it that will come within the amount of what has happened now. The fourth is that it's a two-stage process. The two-stage process of how to rework the constitution. It's not the booklet that we are talking about. It is the union agreement. Ijo in Ijo land, discussing with Yoruba that owns Yoruba land, and the Birom that owns Birom land, and the Dodo that owns the Dodo land, and Igbo that owns Igbo land. All of the parchments of lands that are aggregated and considered into the Nigerian Union. It is the peoples of those territories who could have been countries of their Yoruba will be a country of 60 million, 70 million people today. If Nigeria was not occupying their space and ruining their lives, look at what's going on in Kwara. The eastern side, Ijo and Oni and Anang and Efik can agree to be by themselves or to be with Igbo. Let it be their decision. That's what their sovereignty that is inalienable entitles them to. And that is the case all the way to what the UN says about what is available. The UN, describes the situation to say you are entitled to be your ancestral space. If anybody to do union with them, that person has to agree with you and you agree with the person. If you can't agree, then everybody will have to find a way to adjust himself. You can't come and impose yourself on the person in his own ancestral space. Scots in Scotland, Catalans in Catalonia, and the ones in Quebec, that's what it is universally. It's only in Nigeria that British will come and lock together civilizations that are opposed inconceivably. The civilization that requires somebody to kill me as leader, the ones doing Sharia. The civilization that allows him to tell me lies, Akiya, whereas I'm to tell the truth. I forbid killing in my space. I can't spill man blood in my space. My tradition forbids it. The religion that came, Christianity, forbids it. But the people you are dealing with in the union, that's not our union until we discuss it and discuss our union, and we make it a union of life. It's just an imposition on us. They are holding us at gunpoint in this union of gunpoint. So we're going to stand for that now, assuming that there's a thing that is coming to all of us. Not to be the basis of mobilization, because everybody is already looking for how to save themselves from that Nigeria. 3/4 of people who want to mobilize will actually do whatever it will take to put that Nigeria to death, including me. If it is Nigeria defined by this constitution, whatever it will take to bring down that unity in Nigeria is what I'm prepared to do and do 10 again. And that's what most people who know what the problem is. If I'm not talking about Nigeria the Federation, if it is Nigeria the Federation that we have to restore today, I'll be the construction side. But if it is the Nigeria of unitary Nigeria and people swear to defend and uphold this abomination, 4 years will pass, another 4 years will pass. We've been doing so since 1999. Why can't that be returned to the people so that we can continue like this? Let us stop and fix what has gone wrong. The ones that in Abuja and the people who go to join them every day, the ones who are standing in the way of these 230 million people, who are ignorant, they've impoverished them so much that they couldn't even think straight anymore. There's no you can do with the kind of thing they done. They divided everybody up, and they're planning an election in 2027. under the, let me see where those parties will go to, let me see where they will be in another 2 months from now. So your question, what are they to do? That's an announcement that South Africa made in 1990 to say that their participation can no longer carry their society, and therefore they were going to go into a meeting to discuss, which became today's. The fifth item listed for the fifth item is a time-bound announcement. That time-bound, that announcement by whoever is claiming the government of Nigeria to say that we will go to solve this problem. That is the only thing that is going to make sense to anybody in Washington right now. That's one said, go do it yourself or they're on our way. They already mobilized. They mobilized before Biden came to disrupt everything. And so we must use this window. We are not. This matter goes before the young government. The people who will suffer, because if it becomes a shooting and missile, a lot of things are going to be disrupted. And to be sure that the U.S. may have its own objectives beyond what it is. But we have an opportunity to get all of that now. This is not the time for Tinubu to begin to go to look for banks. Go to tell banks that people are not being killed, but that we can enjoy it. It's not the matter for anything short of committing to removing the source of the problem. This is the source of the problem. It's not the one you send the head supposed to go and bring one more person, or the head of us to go and a few bandits and begin to make a social of it.
All right.
The source of this problem.
That's right. We need to take a break. You're welcome back to the Eastern Hour here on Afia TV, a program that x-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. I still have Mr. Tony Nnamdi on the line from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So let's, there has to be a way to deal with this. I've looked around and there seem to be statements flying left, right, and center from those in government and those outside of government. How do you think that some of those statements, some of them highly inflammable, and some of them, I don't know what to say, some of them are outrightly threatening the U.S. If they attempt to invade Nigeria? I don't know what you make of some of the statements you've seen in the last 48 hours from some Nigerians.
They are ignorant people. They are ignorant and dishonest people, but mostly ignorant. The ones who know a little are being dishonest. And charlatans like Gumi that say we should cut off relations. Gumi, that is the one organizing the terror, he is telling the rest of us to cut off relationship with United States. Is that the kind of thing we should be listening to? Or the one that says, what have we not heard from people whose I don't even know how to describe the kind of thinking that is going on in their midst. We saw the National Assembly people already talking about sending delegation that will go and lobby colleagues when the crew and co were still talking about accountability law, for Nigeria. And so they don't know what they are talking about. The person speaking with you now is an inner part of the process that became CPC in 2020. From the first to the last, what was the complaint, what was going to be done. The US had the discipline to listen for 7 whole months. From when we were trying to describe the problem to them to where they now have to invite the victims. I'm sure you saw when the mother of Leah Sharibu had all kinds of people, victims of the Dara Kingdom, people that were, all those they could find. The US government invited them. I only saw them in Washington when I got there because we had come to raise their alarm and we had told them what could be done. And they felt that because it was their national security, their number one national security challenge at the time, before COVID came later. At the time, it was what the terror nets of the Middle East that were now converging in the West African sub-region with Nigeria as the hub. And so this president that is here now was the one that, brokered the coming of the Buhari that now opened the borders to bring all of them in the numbers we saw. And so that's fallen on him. That is the principle. If it has fallen on him to deal with this matter, this is not the time to send characters like Bayo Ononuga to begin to talk. This situation is above all those who have been talking trash. We know what the problem is. We have discussed it with the people who are now telling them what must happen, because they are endangering the security of many countries. In fact, in that report of Agnes Kalaman, the rapporteur of mission of UN, that came to declare Nigeria's constitution pressure cooker for injustice today, it is that constitution that is the reason Iran is upside down, because it's the constitution that took their oil and gas. There's nothing you are going to do to restore. This is what they say, resource control. There's nothing you are going to do to bring resource under the control of a job owner. There's nothing you are going to do about security. If my security is in the hands of those who are going to eliminate me, that's what I'm living with. If my infrastructure is in the hands of those who plan to decimate me, that's what I'm living with. If my electoral process is in the hands of those who are interested in selecting, look at what has happened everywhere. The kind of people that they're bringing about. And so, they go to the judicial side. Look at what the Supreme Court did to the election, and all of what the Constitution stated that happened. Government has abandoned the Constitution, even in the limited toleration we were extending to the sake of peace, so that we can get to where we're discussing this matter around the table. So everything is gone, and what has to happen now is those who are in that danger, because if you allow Femi to be speaking for you to say, oh, America can take us on, we will fight you to the end. Who are the we? I asked Femi who is that we that we are talking about? If we cannot define the union of Nigeria to be our union, today is not our union. So we cannot be talking about we that will go and fight anybody that is coming. Let us define the we as can fit into the preamble to your constitution. So it will be we that include, not the we that will be and those who come together, the governors that come together to say, those who are to defend this constitution, those who are contesting the election, those who are contesting the election under this constitution. The dividing line, if this matter comes to rightful show, the dividing line will be those on the side of that constitution and those on the side of taking it down. Everything will not count. Anybody who can be counted to the side of the constitution will be treated as a fool and a head, including presidential candidates, including everybody. It is this constitution that is endangering the whole world. That is why 230 million people have become nuisance to everybody everywhere in the world. Look at the number of young people trying to escape from Nigeria. What is setting their country as defined by this constitution? So all of those go to swear to defend and oppose this constitution to hold power and begin to share the blood of people every month and be feeding GDP to us. And those who are planning to go to replace them, they are together. There's no difference between APC or PDP or Labour Party. Let anybody who knows how to find Peter him. Let anybody who knows how to find him. Let anybody who knows how to find anybody else who is saying he wants to come and replace those in government house. By which constitution are you going to provide anything different? We have 36 states that were imposed. 704 government areas that were imposed. We have 812 governments we have to finance. Where will the money to give anything to the citizen come from? A union of 5 institutions, a union of 5 governments that was working well. Emma doing well in the east, Awolowo doing well in the west, and people doing well in where he was. Midwest came, but all doing well because they owned their lands, they owned their resources, they owned the power to work out those resources. That was why Eastern Region built Oji River. Oji River power plant was where the power source came to build for that cause. It was Emma that built Sansamadi with the electricity from Oji River before I came. Why did we abandon what to bring us into the 20th century? We began to go back to the 15th century with the people who are not going anywhere. Why can't we stand together and say this union must be our union, or we resolve it so that those who want to move with the rest of the world can move in their own direction? But now we're all locked down, starting to 68 places. And people who have education are going all over the place to say we'll manage. And the young people are running in every direction, crossing the Dutch with the left, swimming to pass the Mediterranean Sea, and you have no pity for them. You are telling us about the economy because the figures have all increased. World Bank says yes, you are doing reform. That reform, the figures have ballooned because you devalued the currency. Now sharing the money, but it's not half of the other people getting worse. IMF has said so. The US mission in Nigeria said so. To say yes, there may be marginal improvement in GDP and all of what we want to, but the people are sinking back into the poverty. When will it become? When will that change? If you don't turn off the tap, they don't owe you any obligation for any service or any kind of goodness under this constitution. The constitution actually absolves them of responsibility towards the citizen, but it gives them power to sell crude oil and share billions every month. And he put the guns in the hands you can't even say anything to them because they have immunity and all of that. There's nothing that's going to improve. Election will not improve. Electoral reform, those who gather to say, oh, electoral reform, now that a new electoral umpire that is coming, what is he coming to do other than to give another lease of 4 years to this operation of this abomination? And so the responsibility back to the people. If our people will not listen, because everything they need to know has been reduced into writing. If you go to the website of Nina and go to read the first match, there are more than 500 broadcasts like this you are hearing now that will enlighten people into knowing what has to happen for their life to improve. There's nothing that will arrest this killing going on until in immediate areas and elsewhere, until those who live in that danger become part of how to organize their security. And you can't get to that except that the constitution goes down. As it is with that security, so it is with all the other things we are complaining about corruption, in which the payment to the treasury is given to the heads of the executive branch, and they don't owe you any obligation to give you any part of this section 6 of this constitution, absorb them of responsibility towards you. They don't owe you education, they don't owe you care, they don't owe you food, they don't owe you anything at all, in black and white. And lawyers are going all over Nigeria pretending to be lawyers. Don't be interested in electoral petition and the FCC case. Where is the Nigerian bar station in this matter? What they said about this constitution that dragging everybody to death, that is endangering the whole of Africa is where it is now, because Nigeria is where it is. You hear it from Lumumba every time. The black man is where it is because of this abomination that is holding down the engine room of the black man. Even in the diaspora, their situation will not change unless something changes here, unless something changes in Africa. I'm not it's about to change in Africa if Nigeria remains where it is. And Nigeria is where it is on account of this unitary arrangements that now make those who find themselves Nigerians slaves in their homeland. Worse than apartheid. Worse than apartheid. It's an emergency, and we've now been told that those who will suffer when it's done are going to take it upon themselves to come here and solve the problem. That's what that CP means, for those who do not know.
So, I mean, typically with all this, we have just a few minutes to go. It looks like the government is now on panic mode. I hear that the Nigerian president will meet with Trump. What we don't yet know is whether it's going to be in Washington or whether it will be in South Africa. We're hearing they could meet in South Africa to discuss. If they are going to meet, what do you think will likely be on the table for discussion?
I already know, because I'm a part of what is in the fire from where Trump is working. They process this danger that was coming towards them. They processed it for 7 whole months between January and July of 2019. They came to the conclusion they will support the proposition we brought for how to solve that problem, which is to take down the land constitution in a manner that allows the owners to rework it. Everybody has told them in every way possible. And so going to meet to talk to Trump, I doubt if any Trump is there. But Trump already instructed what will happen. Trump, if there was anybody with any modicum of ability to think, the government, when the truth and God began to do what they wanted to do, should that not have been the time to look those in Nigeria who know what is going on in the state? The truth was at the center of how things were processed in 2019. It was in his office that most of the closed-door meetings took place. They sent Onyedikachi to come to lie that no killings were taking place. Onyedikachi was called a shameless liar. And the people he came to say that no killings were taking place. Not quite 2 weeks or 3 after he came, the daughter of the Yoruba, the very leader of the time, was killed. And, so they went on and on, lying to themselves about everything. What would Tinubu tell Trump today if he has if I would be surprised if he makes himself available to be told anything when the matter is right there and you are denying it? People are dying in life in this day and age of internet where evidence is found everywhere. You pretend that it's not so, and then you think you can go and lie to the outside world about what? Stop it here. Let us listen to those who know and are happy to. The leaders is in a position to guide Nigeria on what to do now. If those in Africa think that they can go with Ghana must go like they try to do or to just run their mouth, I'm sorry for them. I'm sorry for them because the people they tend to lie to have evidence, and evidence was gathered when Buhari was president, and everything was stopped. Nothing has changed since it has even become worse. And so before to anything, they must see that you understand what the problem is. If Tinubu does not understand that the very Constitution of Nigeria 1999 is the reason security has broken down, is the reason nobody is going to be able to stop Boko Haram, is the reason nobody is going to be able to reverse the poverty that is sinking Nigeria and causing Nigeria to be danger to the rest of the world. People stop and people begin to run direction. I do not see what is going to. I'll be surprised if I see him discussing with Trump. I'll be very surprised if they say that, because these are all the how far can propaganda carry you? How far can propaganda carry you? So one of them said that they were already ahead, that they changed services. What is the meaning of service in the circumstance? When you leave the account, the solution to the problem is to top up the tax. I can assure us, if they will find the discipline and it's longer in their hand alone, it's not in the hand of the government or national state alone, because if it becomes war, all of us will suffer. So we're going to take it badly and be taken against them. And the line of the people we have faced everywhere, we see them in our neighborhood, and they want to put election in 2027. Because if you don't stop them, Tinubu will have no motivation to stop running himself. If we they will again and swear that everything will remain as. But meanwhile, the U.S. has rolled a plan for what to do to save themselves from the terror we are breathing in our face. There's no other way left. If there was any way left, I would have been the one setting them. There's no one of them that has not been involved. Where's people in this matter? From Nadeko to now, is there any time Tinubu distance from what can solve the problem? Or who among them are we going to be explaining these things to all again? They must find it a trouble, a serious trouble, and that trouble is what they will have no further notice. The meaning of culture of particular concern is that the U.S. will go into that space. You saw how the sanctity of sovereignty is not there anymore. It has been so who give America right to come? It is their national security concern that we are breeding terror that can come to hit them later. And they have to go to where the terror is breeding. That's what they are doing.
All right.
They have given a week to say, if you can solve it yourself, we don't need to come.
All right.
If you can't, you don't, we will solve it in our own way. I do not want to come. I want to solve the problem. We have the capacity to solve the problem. The work Nina's job is capable of solving this problem in less than 90 days.
All right.
60 days if a meeting is summoned in November.
Thank you.
Welcome to Shameless News TV. Call off into statement. And politics update.
you are watching this video, I encourage you to share this video, and this is my own personal opinion. With the way things has transpired in Nigeria, I want to make this clear. Nigeria will never work and can never work with the Igbo man involved in the entity of called Nigeria. Every evidence, every fact has revealed this. There's no way Nigeria can work with Igbo people in it. And let me say this. If you like one Nigeria, if you are a Yoruba man, if you are an Hausa man, if you are an Ijo man, if you are an Nshekiri man, wherever you come from in Nigeria, I want you to bear this behind your mind, or bear this in mind. No Igbo man hates you. No Igbo man or woman hates you. The only thing an Igbo man hates is the injustice being meted upon Igbo people in Nigeria. Another thing an Igbo man hates is marginalization of Igbo people in Nigeria. And one thing again an Igbo man hates is the inequality in the treatment of Igbo people in Nigeria. Now let me say this. Nigeria was formed to self-destruct. Whoever created Nigeria, Lugard and all his cohorts that created Nigeria, saw a time where Nigerians would be fighting each other. It has happened before in the genocide of Biafra 1967 and 1970. And that blood of Igbo people that was shed in Nigeria is still crying until today. There is nothing anybody can do to salvage Nigeria. There is nothing. Jesus Christ, Yeshua Mashiach, can never come down to salvage Nigeria. It is not possible. There is no technology, there is no economists, P2B, wherever. Nobody can salvage Nigeria. Nigeria is an Awala. Nigeria, with Igbo people in it, is a deity that has drank blood. The only thing Yoruba, Hausa, and every other ethnic group should start doing from today you hear this video is start campaigning for Biafra nation to go. When Biafra leaves, Biafra is the problem of Nigeria. Igbo people is the problem of Nigeria. And in what context am I saying? I'm saying in the context that Igbo people has been killed, is still being killed, and being held against their wish in Nigeria. When you get married to a woman, or when a man and a woman has seen that their marriage cannot work, there is only one thing that is left: separation or divorce. If you continue to hold those people, you are holding both of them in bondage. One day, one will rise against the other one and kill that one for him to have peace. That America is coming into Nigeria. If Biafra had been let go on since, maybe this wouldn't have happened. And let me tell you what will happen if America venture step their foot on Nigeria. Nigeria will be divided by force. And when Nigeria divides by force, it's going to cause chaos. So the best thing everybody should do, passionately ask President Tinubu to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and set Biafra free in a referendum supervised by United Nations, or simply call Biafrans. We don't need the input of these current governors, parliament, wherever they be, House of senators and rep members. We don't need their input when it comes to Biafra. Okay, we don't need their input. Doesn't matter when it comes to Biafra, because they don't believe in Biafra. It is the people of Igbo extraction or Igbo nation or former Eastern region that believes in Biafra, of which, if you conduct a referendum today, it will be 99.9% victory. So keeping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in prison, remember, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, if you don't allow Biafrans go, Somalia will be a paradise. It doesn't mean that we are going to go into, anybody's going to go into war with anybody. That is not a threat of war. What it means that Nigeria will continue to deteriorate. Nigeria will continue to have leaders that will take Nigeria from bad to worse until Nigeria collapses. So Igbo people being in Nigeria will never allow Nigeria to prosper. If you saw what happened in court today, you see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu speaking. You see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu speaking, then you are short-sighted. The blood of over 4.something million people were speaking in that man alone. Let me repeat. The blood of 4.something million people were speaking through Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, crying out for vengeance. It is better today to divide Nigeria. If other people can stay if they want, but let the Biafrans go so that Nigeria can prosper. Start the campaign today for Biafra to exit peacefully. Biafra and Nigeria can become a good neighbor, trade neighbor, we share technology. But to remain as one, it's not going to happen. Go through all the social media handle. It appears every tribe in Nigeria is fighting against Igbos. And right now, we acknowledge Igbos are the problem of Nigeria. Let the problem go so that you can enjoy your prosperity. This is my message today. And I want everybody who sees this message to share this message. If you are an Igbo man and you are playing neutrality on this case, when we are at the verge, see, whatever an Igbo man is suffering in Nigeria today is a child's play compared to what our own children will suffer if we're not savage today. Our children are going to urinate on our grave and spit on our graves that we did nothing. Please continue to spread this gospel until it gets to the heart of those people who think that Nigeria can walk without the Igbos, because Nigeria cannot walk with the Igbos in Nigeria. All right? Biblically, when Jonah was in the ship, that ship was about to sink until Jonah was let go. Let the Igbos go. Nigeria will enjoy prosperity. I assure you that. I hope this helps. May we not be only hearers, but also doers. That God
Fulani can control you however they like. Once they announce it, Yoruba newspapers very foolishly and stupidly will support them because they want Tinubu as the president. And you are all dying every blessed day. You are all dying every day. Had you people risen up to say that what is happening in Nigeria is bad, there is no way that Fashoranti's daughter will not be alive today. That is the price you pay for duplicity. That is the price you pay for treachery. That is the price you will continue to pay until you rise up and say, enough is enough. It is up to you to do it. You did it during NSAS. You can do it again. Can you imagine Fulani people telling you, if you remove Fulanis from Yoruba forest, imagine Fulani telling you, if you remove them from your ancestral lands, there will be war, and you are panicking. And you have not asked yourself, why are they not saying the same thing about the East? Why did they not say to Eastern Security Network? Why did they not say to me, if you don't stop evacuating Fulani terrorists from the forest, there will be war? Because they know, they understand psychologically that you don't have what it takes to resist them. Do you know why Borno State is still alive? Why you still have the Kanuri people in Borno today? Was because they resisted the Fulani centuries ago. You have to go back to history to understand how Nigeria came into existence. Fulani has been expanding from day one, from Senegambia. All the way from Senegambia, they've been expanding, and now they are in Okigwe. All the way from Senegambia. They are now in Okigwe. And you're asking us to somehow fold our hands and keep quiet because of 2023, because one idiot is going to come out to become a president, because of that rubbish, because of that nonsensical notion, we should fold our hands and wait until we are overrun by the Janjaweed from the Sahel. Is that how reasonable people think? Is that how people that wish to survive as a race, is that how they reason? It is very, very shocking that some of you do not understand what the Fulanis have in store for you. Very, very soon it is going to happen. And when it happens, your eyes will clear. And about whom you will see it very clearly. I was warning you. In 2014, 2015, 2016, they said he's a warmonger. He's a warmongering. I went to America and I told World Igbo Congress that this war you are avoiding is going to come to your villages. They said, no, it's not going to happen. What is happening today? When Yoruba was supporting the dead idiot called Buhari, did I not warn them that this evil you're supporting will consume you? They never listened. They never wanted to listen. IPOB is a terrorist group. You're trying to divide Nigeria. But Mietiana is not. People that you are calling bandits, have you heard anybody come out to say, please Buhari, since presidency is there defending terrorists in the forest, why don't you proscribe them? No, you cannot proscribe a Fulani group. Never. And all of you, we are supporting evil. When there is the proscribed IPOB, proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. These are Yoruba journalists writing junk. Every day they keep writing rubbish. But their land is under siege. Their land is under siege. And the Fulani will take it. It doesn't take time. So I am here today to encourage them that they must stand tall and be very strong, resolute. That is what Fulani does. They control the media. They have well-paid consultants all over the world doing their bidding for them. They have that woman at UN trying to lobby the world that everything is okay in the zoo called Nigeria. But you and I know that the zoo is not okay. You and I know the game plan of the Fulani. And what are you doing about it? Nothing. Every day you read, you lament, you complain. Every day you read, you lament. And that's all you do. That is all you do. You read, you lament, you complain, you do nothing about it. Your lives are being taken away from you. Your forests are being occupied. Your mothers are being raped. Your daughters are being abducted. And the whole national government, presidency, is supporting such people. And you're telling me that Nigeria is viably sustainable. Is that what you're telling me? That somehow this contraption is sustainable, it is viable. It can never be. Because the more you stay in one Nigeria, the more you are inviting the Fulanis to take over your ancestral lands, take over your villages, and to make life a misery for you. That is the end game. That is the outcome. If you doubt me, go and do a bit of research. Ask yourself, who are the Hausa people? Who are the Nupe people? Who are the Bachama people? All of these people were steamrolled by the Fulani march. to the Atlantic Ocean. And now they're in Yoruba land. They're in their forests. They are in their forests. And who is going to drive them away from there? If not the Yoruba youths. Forget about your useless governors. Your elders are very strong. I love Yoruba elders. The way they behave, the way they talk. Very, very strong. They say they support Akeredolu. This is the governor of Ondo State. They support him in what he's doing. People must come out to say that enough is enough. When you travel to the north, do you live in the forest in the north? The Igbo people in Sabongeri in Kanu, are they living of course it's Hausa land, are they living in the forest? They came to the town, they work very hard, they build houses, they build mansions, they develop the entire place. Is that not what they do? What are Fulani people doing in our forest? Nobody can answer that question. They say that they're pastoralists. I want some of you who have had your breakfast this morning, please go to your fridge or go to where you keep your beverages and you will see pig milk. Pig. Some of us were raised on pig milk. For how many years now? And you keep asking yourself, what is pig milk? Pig milk is the same milk that the cows produce in Holland can be produced in the zoo. Tell me the country in the world aspiring to be a member of the UN Security Council where you move cattle from place to place. Are you people well at all? You so-called Nigerians, are you normal in the brain? I'm asking you a simple question. Show me a country that aspires to be in the 21st century moving cattle from place to place. Tell me they're grazing. Which country is that? Please tell me. All of you don't have any shame. When you have people, an entire presidency coming out to defend a very primitive, archaic agricultural practice, then you know you embrace serious mess. You are in one almighty trouble, I'm telling you. People are in a mess. The Holland that you get your pig milk from, do they move cattle from Rotterdam to Amsterdam? I'm asking you a simple question. But they produce the pig milk that you're drinking every blessed day. Why can't Fulani produce pig milk in Sokoto? Why can't they produce carnation milk in Kanu? They have the cattle. Before the white man came, did you see any Fulani in your forest? All these people talking rubbish about movement of cattle and movement of... I'm asking you, before Britain came and handed over Nigeria to Fulani, ask your grandfathers, please, or your grandmothers. Ask them. All this nonsense we are hearing today in this so-called one, I want to tell you the dangers of one Nigeria. All this nonsense you're hearing today about one Nigeria, Fulani in our forest, Fulani in our village. Before the white man came, did you see Fulani moving their cattle all over the place? Did we not have meat to eat? They will answer these questions for you. Because sometimes in Africa we don't reason very well. The way we reason is jaundiced, it is disjointed. I can't understand for the life of me why instead of them to waste all that money arming and equipping this Janjaweed army Mihetiala to come and conquer you and I, why don't they open a milk factory somewhere in the north and bring the milk down south? I'm sure Southerners will buy it. After all, pig milk comes all the way from Holland. Pig milk all the way from Holland. Now you understand it. Because of the way you people reason. Why can't you produce? Is it difficult to produce milk? The same milk that comes out naturally from the udder of the cow. Why can't you can it somewhere, pasteurize it, and send it to people to eat, to drink, or to do whatever with? All over the world, that is what is happening. In fact, they produce so much milk in Europe that they pour it away. Why can't you do the same thing? A whole president claiming they are in the 21st century are supporting a very primitive practice of moving cattle from place to... All of you, you're not ashamed of yourselves. You have no shame. As somebody will say, your shame is shaming me. I'm telling you, you people from the zoo, I'm ashamed of your ignorance and stupidity. You people are hopeless, completely hopeless. One day I want idiot to come and say, we are intellectuals. And you're moving cattle from Kafanchan to Ahoda. You are intellectuals. You are intellectualizing. You are in the 21st century, you are moving cattle, driving cattle, Nama, from over 300 miles. It's claiming Yoruba forest is a place for you to be in. You want to relax, Yoruba forest is every Nigerian is free to live anywhere. And do their business anywhere, yes. But when an Igbo man tries to sell beer in Kanu, you destroy it. You destroy their businesses, you destroy their hotels, but you can come down to the south and live anywhere you like and grace anywhere you like. And you're telling me that is a country, that is one Nigeria for you? The Fulanis we are talking, they call them the Funa movement. Our attention has been drawn to a decree credited to one who wrote to me, Akredolu, asking Fulani people who have occupied some forests in Ondo State to quit. We are also aware of another incident in Oyo State where an illiterate political talk gave quick notice to Fulani people to leave their territories, which are now their irreversible homes. Are you listening? Fulani are now saying that Yoruba forest is now their irreversible homes. They have now occupied Yoruba land in perpetuity. And I want to let my Yoruba friends understand this. You see, in life, anytime you support evil, evil will come back to haunt you. All of you never knew that IPOB and this Biafra movement was for your liberation. Some of you saw maybe the oil and gas from Biafra land. If they go now, we won't have access to oil and gas. In the process of having your eyes fixated on oil and gas, your forest is gone. Do you understand it? There is nothing more precious in life than freedom. Freedom is very important. And I need you to understand this very morning. Every Yoruba person supporting Fulani, you are setting up yourself to become like the Hausa people. Remember when Hausa was supporting Fulani? We are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Where are the Hausa people today? I ask you. Where are those Hausa people today? Do you see them anymore? They're saying we are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Do you see them again today? Do you see them? I'm asking you. No, because Fulani have completely overwhelmed them. It's called emasculation. Completely emasculated them. Look at what they're doing in the East. In the East, they come to the East, they will tell you, oh, you want to be the president or vice? Yeah. They say, give us land for Ruga. They give them land. As soldiers of Kanu did that Lord Banta. They have taken it over in forever and ever. Give us land in your state. Hope of them are prove to us that you are stood. Give us land in Olo. Hope of them will give them land in Olo. We can go and kill people in Obibo. We can kill for them. How many Fulani governors are prepared to kill bandits? I didn't say normal people. I'm talking about armed, dangerous bandits. How many Fulani governors? Go and read your newspapers, you will see it there. Fulani governors are negotiating with them, giving them arms, giving them vehicles, making sure that their life is no longer a misery. But they come down to the south. They tell you, give us land for Ruga. Go and kill your people to prove to us that you're one Nigeria. That was why Obi also was talking rubbish. Was yesterday or 2 days ago. Supported by the BBC. The problem you people have in Nigeria is this. Your journalists, you see people, Punch newspaper, Tribune, Vanguard, and Nation, they are your second worst enemies. I'm telling you the truth. They can never ever be objective in their reportage. Never ever ever. That's why all of you are suffering. But you don't know it. They were the same people used to scuttle the NSAS protest. Of course, some of you went about looking for Indomie in warehouses. Typical black people. Any revolution that is coming now, you must stand very firm. They'll say, oh, you're Igbo. Oh, you're Yoruba. Oh, you are from Europe. Don't join them. It's our turn in 2023. If you do this, you will scuttle our chances of becoming the president.